Well, here we go again, ladies and gents. Another round of Bowser's Castle. Let's get you next. Now we actually have an opportunity to tattle that guy there in the center. There we go. A bony beetle. Actually, if you look at it, they're just like Koopa shells, but with feet and eyes. That's really creepy. It's one thing if you have an entire skeleton chasing after you, but it's just the shell. That'd be like if you encountered a rib cage with legs and eyes peering at you from inside the rib cage and they were following you. That is so creepy. Those aren't normal Koopa shells, look at them. They even have the same boots that normal Koopas do. That's so weird. Bowser is all kinds of messed up, man. Okay, so you're trying to do the, guess the real one trick there. I recall a certain Crystal King that tried the same thing. But if you use an attack that attacks all of them, it doesn't quite work out for him anyway. The duplicate goes away as soon as that guy disappears. So, as it turns out, that actually isn't that very good of a defense for you. You probably should have done that running away thing. That might have served you a bit better in the long run, buddy. Okay, let's see here. This guy really wants me. But does he want Koops? Oh, yes he does. I mean Cooper. Yarg. I keep calling him Koops. Koop is the guy from, 1000 Year Door. That's the wrong game. This is the original Paper Mario. Yes, I have to remember that. So what was I talking about before? Right, I was talking about the castle's, mode of existence. I'd imagine it's probably just floating up there in space directly above where it existed, and I know I had this conversation before, but this is relevant. Because if it's just floating in one place, then he has a controlled shot if he wants to shoot that lava thing from earlier wherever he wants. But if he's orbiting, then it could hit anything in the world, and it wouldn't have to depend on his location. So if he had an orbiting castle, then he would have a really strong defense. I mentioned it would be similar to the Sputnik scare back in the 50s, where if this thing suddenly was orbiting around the entire Earth and threatened the entire place, then, you know, everyone would be much more terrified. So what is this room? Big open chamber, lots of lots of gates there. Water gates. Well, I guess I accidentally spoiled it. Yeah, it looks like this place is for irrigation, but what purpose does it serve? It's like those pull chains that you have, that you see in bathrooms that really old toilets have. So is this the plumbing? But there's an entrance to it via that grand hall over there, so this has to be a majorly important room, or else why would you make it such a prominent location in your castle? Maybe it's just this glorified swimming pool. Like, maybe this is where the guardsmen go to chill after a long day. Bowser wouldn't give them a lounge, so he gave them a swimming pool instead. I can agree with that sort of thinking. It would be sort of cool to have a swimming pool, or a giant Olympic-sized, or even castle-sized pool where you can change the direction of water in a whim. Once again, these walls proved to be pretty non-durable. Are we not supposed to go this way? It was blocked for a reason, and the pathway was fairly obvious. Maybe the guards aren't supposed to come this way. Maybe that was an authorized personnel-only switch, and by hitting this, we've violated some massive decree of what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah, here's that flusher again. I think I could sign up for a swimming pool this size. Although I do have to admit, the amount of water that it takes to flood this place is almost nothing. This place flooded in like 2 seconds. It can't be easy pumping all that water around here. Maybe this giant-sized swimming pool diverts water from everywhere else. So when you put the water in here, it drains the water from like bathtubs and tap water and fountains. Maybe very important cooling systems too get non-functional because we filled up this giant-sized swimming pool for recreation. This might be the biggest waste of resources Bowser's done in this castle yet. I mean, lava's important, but now you're tampering with the drinking and water supply. Not to mention that people are supposed to swim in this thing. There are docks for swimming. Sushi is able to swim this thing. Mario and Sushi, the fish, have been in here. And while I know that we've taken baths and stuff, it's probably not a good idea to have people swimming around in your drinking water. Or your cooling water. Unless it isn't water. Maybe it's something like, gosh, I don't know, sludge? But we're swimming through it quite clearly, and it's very clear water. It has to be something that's similar to water. Maybe it's vinegar. If you have enough vinegar, would it have the same similar blue hue? I don't know, I'm not a chemist. And what happens if you're trying to get through these chambers? Are you trapped in here until somebody pulls those chains? Because you can't swim through the doors or else you'll flood the whole castle and then you'll deplete the entire castle's water supply. Actually, if that's one way to want to destroy his troops, that'd be the way to do it. Just get rid of their entire water supply and wait for them to, dehydrate to death. Oh, they're shooting at us now, okay. So I guess they've decided to up the ante with their defenses. Gold casings! Jeez, Bowser. You must have wished for this. There's no other way you guys could afford this. I mean, I know you're the evil king, but gold-cased bullets? Usually say those things for special occasions, but those cannons that are probably shooting them, and they have to be cannons because they're bullet bills, those cannons that we saw earlier are just shooting them at nothing. We'll have to look and see how severe of an issue that is. Also, if you don't kill them after a turn, they just blow up and kill themselves. But you don't want them doing that because they hurt. Yeah, look at that! The cannons are just firing in here at nothing. So those gold-plated cannons, they are gold-plated, look at them. Those gold-plated cannons are shooting gold-casing bullets willy-nilly. What a huge waste of resources. I take back the water thing. Gold isn't cheap, and it probably isn't easy to ship all the way up here to the top of the castle. It has to be wished in. There's no other way this would make any kind of sense. And even if it were wished in, do you think that gold comes from somewhere, or he just conjures it out of nowhere? Because that brings up something different entirely. If he wishes it to come from somewhere to here, then I suppose he's making other places poor because he's sapping them of their gold and precious resources and minerals. But if he's conjuring them out of nothing, then he's an alchemist. And if that's the case, he has the ability to destroy the entire world's economy, if that's the case. I'm sorry, I'm being a little redundant. I think I said if that's the case a few times. But yeah, if he wanted to, he could probably sell all these cannons and stuff for a huge profit. I mean, yes, he's the self-proclaimed king of evil, but I'm sure there are a couple of people around here who are, crooked or corrupt enough to buy stuff from the king of evil. I mean, heck! If all else, if you don't want to use them for cannons, you can melt them down to use them for some other important resources. Like giant gold bars, you'd be able to print out your own money, for goodness sake. Oh, that's important. Thank you. Nice. But yeah, look at that! They're just shooting at nothing! Even most people don't have that sort of, armory or ammunition to shoot it willy-nilly, but here you are just shooting them all forever. Gosh, we have to stop Bowser. He's gonna destroy the entire planet's resources in a matter of 2 days. Does he even have a plan? I mean, he's wasting water, lava, and gold willy-nilly in his own castle. Does he have any sort of plan other than ruin the environment and waste all of our resources? What's his long-term goal? What's his... Wow! What's his issue? Let's see if we can bomb these. Arrgh! Okay, not quite. Alright, let's try now. Oh. Alright, forget that plan, just hammer him. Yep, there we go. I bet he wastes food and air up here, too. Like, he just has, like, that gourmet guy going around gorging himself with food. And he probably has ventilation shafts for air that are just filling up rooms that don't need to be filled up. We're high in the stratosphere. Air isn't easy to work with around here. He probably has to fill up these rooms with a ton of air. Although that's not nearly as irresponsible, considering, again, he has that magic rod. But no matter how you look at it, he has no sense of appreciation for value for any of the resources he has. And no sense of understanding about how wishes work, either. I'm surprised he hasn't just wished that he could have killed me. I feel like that would have solved all of his problems if he just said, "I wish Mario was dead." I mean, I know Bowser's not smart, but I didn't realize we were working with a complete imbecile. Man. Again, once this whole place is taken over properly, what Peach ought to do is just keep this place for herself. It's suspended high in the air. The stuff would be hard to maintain at first, but I'm sure she'd find a way. She is Princess Peach, after all. And Bowser's castle is evil-looking, yes, but I would say I would try to renovate it or change it, or use it to taunt Bowser. You know, show him, haha, I've got your castle now, and I've got all of your resources up here. Infinite, water and, fire and gold supply. Actually, do you think those... Oh, I'm not even paying attention. We're fighting an enemy here. A new one, actually. If you blow them up, they do a tremendous amount of damage, but let's see. Dry bones, right. The whole skeletal figures, not just the ones with the eyes and the neck sockets. So if you kill them, they're not necessarily dead. They topple over into little bones. Also, they do quite a bit of damage, too. Do you notice that earlier? Let's see. We gotta kill this guy. There we go. Down to his HP, he couples over, and I guess because there's nothing else in the battlefield, we win. His bones could rise up again, but, never mind. Right. So what was I saying? Oh, I was saying, we should totally keep this place as Peach's new castle. In fact, I would probably have Peach just convert this location into a new castle altogether. What the? Why isn't the battle over yet? It was over last time. How come it's not over now? This makes no sense. This game is... I love this game to bits, but sometimes it's just entirely inconsistent. Okay, yeah, alright. Let's see here. But yeah, what I would do is, I would try to save this place as my own. If it's not orbiting yet, I would have it set to orbit. You could raise jobs in the economy by setting up scientists up here to do experiments, sort of like the International Space Station. Yeah, I could see us having some profit here. This place is nice and spacious. There's a lot of stuff you could do with a place like this. Heck, you could have an entire city living here. The food and gold are literally popping out of nowhere, so this place is ridiculously, self-sufficient. Yeah, Peach could have an entire Toad Town section up here if they were able to put up with moving in the dungeons. I don't think they'd be willing to do that at first, but you can make it more comfortable. So, let's see here. Locked door in a save block. Blocks... Nope. So, I don't believe I've been talking about this location too much. We've been doing a lot more fighting lately, I noticed. There are a few puzzles back there, what with the cave and the irrigation systems, but now we seem to be doing a lot more melee stuff. Interesting, too. Okay, so yeah, we've just double-checking those blocks. I can't do anything. Save them real quick. Man, those Bowser faces on those blocks are classic Nintendo 64. Back in the day when Mario 64 was in, Bowser was quite an intimidating fellow. See, look at that. That's actually quite scary. Of course, Bowser's more or less known today as a joke. Or, you know, a silly fellow, and that's perfectly fine with me. It's called character development. I suppose after you get knocked down enough pegs, he stops being as scary. Let's see, double checking the blocks. Okay, let's go down this passage. Man, I can't wait to see... What? Nothing? Let's see if there's anything hiding in here. No. Maybe there's a star piece in there. I didn't think about that when I was recording, though, so if there's a star piece in here, then heck if I know. Yeah, a worthless room, but it's got that sort of chandelier hanging in there. I wonder what those things are for. They don't seem to provide any sort of lighting, so are they just for decorative purposes? That's probably the case. Bowser really likes to be about show. Anyway, this is actually rather clever. If you look back there, there's actually something over here. That's clever, though. I wouldn't have guessed that unless I'd toyed around with everything, though. It's a good trick. I will give that. That's probably one of the first clever things Bowser's actually done with this place so far. Aww. Oh, wow. Nice dialogue there, Gimbario. I thought he was actually going to talk about friendship for a second. That's clever, though. Every room has Gimbario saying a few more clever things. He's probably a much more valuable party member than we realize, because he says the most in the game. I think Gimbario's a little bit underappreciated. The shame he has that really stupid name, though. Ah, well. Well, we've got through that leg of the dungeon. On to the next area. After we save again, just to be safe. Okay. Onward. Let's see here. Creepy Bowser faces. Oh! Hello, another one of you. Are you gonna make me fall over a... No, not that. Talk to me about this room. Yes, thank you. Is that why you're following us, Gimbario? You just want to meet Princess Peach? You're silly. Oh? Well, I guess our adventure ends here. Why would you do that? Why would you let me go through here if I do something? Wouldn't you just keep me keep me trapped here no matter what? Why would you even bother to have a door there? Wouldn't you make it a secret passage or something? Anyway, so what we're supposed to do here is we're supposed to answer a few trivia questions, or not trivia, but a few questions here. A few things are going to happen here in the background, and we're supposed to guess the correct answer when he asks a question about what happens. Now, we're only allowed 2 mistakes, so if you screw up 3 times, then something happens. Now, to get into the tough part. The rules of the challenge that I've been doing since Chapter 2 state that I have to throw this game. I have to deliberately make the wrong answers to these questions. And I know there was like 3 or 4, but we're just gonna go with 5 because we have to throw the wrong answers out. The reason why I have to be stupid and give out the wrong answers in this is because if you fail this thing 3 times, you will face a battle unlike the which, no. The likes of which, rather, that's what I was trying to say. The likes of which have never been known before. Unfortunately, this isn't going to be a very good guide for getting you through this quiz correctly, because I'm supposed to do it the wrong way. But you know what? That's what the challenge says, and that's what I'm going to do. Even though I really don't want to. So, yeah, actually, if you want to go through the same challenge I'm doing right now, just make sure you answer all the questions on the lowest level of that list. Like, just pick the lowest answer and then pick that, and then you'll get them wrong 3 times in a row. I feel like in some of the later questions, they'd be pretty genuinely challenging. Like, it would be a good thing to do on its own. But no, I've got to be wrong. Choose the bombs. And we have to fight some horrible enemies. Can you guess who they are if you don't already know? Oh god, I'm not ready for this. That's right. Those anti-guys from Shy Guy's Toy Box. You have to fight 3 of them. And we'll do that next time. Oh man.